The oath that I have solemnly taken tonight means at its core that I will do my job without any fear or favor, and that I will do so independently of both the political branches and of my own preferences.
And founding member of the constitutional law and civil litigation firm Fine and DelVale. Bruce, it's really great to have you back. We heard Amy Coney Barrett outside the White House not too long ago promising to have her decisions led without fear or favor. That being said, there are concerns from a lot of liberals that key landmark rulings such as the 1973 Roe versus Wade, which made a ruling on abortion, as well as the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, that those are issues that she could lean conservatively on. Are those concerns warranted?
I'm not sure if they're warranted as phrased in terms of whether it's a conservative or liberal issue. I think what Judge Barrett is going to bring to the bench is a strict interpretation of the Constitution and of law. I think one of the first things that Judge Barrett is going to hear is the Pennsylvania voting case, Pennsylvania and North Carolina. And the question there is, can the states count ballots after Election Day? If the ballots were mailed in on or before Election Day, can they be counted by the 6th in Pennsylvania or by the 12th in North Carolina? That's a very important case. I don't really know what she's going to do. There are some precedents on that about whether or not the state's legislature gets to decide and the state Supreme Courts do not get to decide. As far as the ACA, I think the ACA, a part of it's dead in the water.
Let's push this forward a little bit. We know that the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, has been consistently asked whether he would stack the Supreme Court. He's now said he will set up a committee to look into it. But do you think that Americans want to change the Supreme Court? I mean, is this a deciding issue, do you think, for the 2020 election? Because we know certainly for Republicans it was in 2016.
I don't think it's something that the American public feels very strongly about. I think they see it as sort of a petulant, almost childish reaction. If the court doesn't rule like you think they're going to rule, let's get more judges in there. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. Now, I will say there's no constitutional requirement that there be 9 justices. It just comes back from 1869. Historically, it's very interesting. The justices were first reduced from 6 to 5, so Thomas Jefferson couldn't appoint judges. It was a way to get back at the great Thomas Jefferson and to prevent him from having judges on the court. It's ranged from 5 to 10, but once again, since 1869, it's been 9, and that's an act of Congress. The president doesn't really get to decide that. Franklin Roosevelt tried to do it. The American public didn't support him then, and Franklin Roosevelt was a far more popular president, I would say, than either Mr. Biden or Mr. Trump would be. I don't think it's something that the American people are looking forward to.
Bruce, we know that the Republican-controlled Senate, they have the power to confirm any nominee, and the president is of course, entitled to approve it. So how has this process been impacted by these key Senate races that we're seeing in November here? I mean, you saw Senator Susan Collins of Maine actually breaking with the GOP on this because her seat is vulnerable in November. But what do you think this means for those Senate races in particular, and how do you see the 2020 election playing into the Supreme Court issue?
I'm not sure there's going to be that many more Supreme Court nominations in the next few years. The justices are, by and large, not very old. Justice Thomas is a bit up in the years. But I think it reminds the American people of how important it is to be a senator. Senators get to choose our judges, not only the Supreme Court judges, but the federal court judges, the district court, the trial judges, the appellate judges. So I think it reminds people that being a senator is a pretty important deal, especially when it comes to approving presidential nominations, and especially when it comes to basically the makeup of the third branch of government, the judiciary. So I think it will be a feature and a factor in this election year, in this cycle. I think the Republican majority is not a sure thing. I don't know how many Democrats can get seats. If they get 5, they'll take over. It'll be a tenuous majority, but certainly it's something that could happen. And it's something that the American people need to be reminded of. As I said, it's a very important position. And we've gone many years without Supreme Court nominations. And now that we have 3 in one term, it's absolutely amazing. But there are a lot of federal judgeships left to be filled.
Bruce DelValle, we really appreciate you coming on to add your analysis. Thanks for that.